Hello there, doctors. In this episode of Dr. Boss, we now have one of our premier sponsor, Joe Suraci. His company is RegenTx. I'll let him tell you what his company is because it offers everything that a doctor needs to up-level his practice, or if he's interested in going to an innovative field such as regenerative medicine. I've known Joel for a long time. He has been in business for 14 years. His goal is to be able to help doctors be able to have the best equipment so they can deliver the best service for their patient and ensure that they are comfortable in using the equipment that he helped them with. Not only is he a great guy, great businessman, but he cares about the doctor. So welcome, Joe, to our show.
Thanks, Doc, and thanks for having me on, and thanks for having us in Doctor Podfest. We're super stoked about it. It's going to be awesome, and we are going to help doctors realize their potential if they're not already doing some of the things that we can help them out with, such as regenerative medicine and ultrasound and some other things.
Let's just dive into it. Doctor Podfest is a summit for content creators that are physicians, and our goal is to help them make money online with leveraging their medical knowledge, and also even to show them the possibility what doctors can do online. And okay, so why did you decide from your company's perspective to be involved with Doctor Podfest?
Well, number one, you, of course. You're a titan and a massive force in this industry and helping doctors realize their marketing potential. And for us, we provide lots of equipment and great protocol and science and everything, but almost every physician we deal with has struggled with some aspect of the marketing, and many of them now are really interested in how to get the message out to their patients. And obviously podcasting is a fantastic way, and many of them aren't quite sure how to do it. So I think this would be an opportunity for them to learn how to be great at it and all of the things to be careful of, the pitfalls, and then of course the tips that everyone there can give them, because it's hard enough to do business, and yet this is sort of a niche thing. But more and more of our physicians are realizing if they can do this, they can educate their patients at the same time and connect with them, which I think is really important. I know some people are using AI. We even just recently made an AI advertisement, but I think it's very important for patients to feel a connection with the doctor before or after they even walk in the office, and they can feel familiar with them. And that's how you build trust. They see your real personality come through. So I think podcasting is phenomenal opportunity for docs to do that, and they can shoot multiple episodes, edit them, have a company help them with that, put it on their website, put it on their LinkedIn, put it on their Facebook, their Instagram, all those things, and utilize it in many spaces. And there's not a lot of other marketing avenues that you can really do that. I mean, it's great to have a website and SEO, but I think that live personal interaction and people seeing someone's personality in real time is important.
Absolutely. Trust comes from connection. So tell me a little bit about your company, RegenTx. I know you do a lot, and I know you know so much. Tell me about how you can help doctor help their patient better.
Our primary principle is that we are testing anything that we sell, whatever the category, whether it's ortho biologics, ultrasound, shockwave, hematology analyzers. We test every brand out there, put them side by side. We look at data, we do comparisons. We're as objective as we possibly can be, and then we try to pick the best that we can find based on our testing, not based on a profit margin. That's just not our MO. So because of all that testing, we can share things with physicians. We can be honest with them. We can say, well, we might sell this, but also that one over there is also good. We don't sell it, but it's still good. And doctors appreciate the honesty that we give them through that. And then, of course, we can approach the manufacturers. We work with over 700 doctors around the country now. So when we approach manufacturers, we have a little bit more negotiating power, and we can tell them, listen, we are a science company. We want to sell stuff, but we don't want to be salesy about it. We just want to show people how good your product is. So we want you to give us a better price because we don't want to play the negotiation game. We want to be able to tell people, here's the best price. We're also going to include the best support, best level of knowledge of the products. And that's what we present to the manufacturers. And usually they will say, okay, yeah, you sound like someone we want on our team. So that is the one thing we do that I think differentiates us from everyone else. Obviously, manufacturers manufacturers, if you go to a specific brand of ultrasound company, for instance, that sales rep is just going to be hammering you because they have one thing to sell. So they're going to tell you it's the best no matter what. Same thing with PRP kits, same thing with bone marrow, same thing with Shockwave. Everyone's going to tell you theirs is the best. We're not a manufacturer, so it gives us the ability to negotiate with manufacturers and pick the best in each category. And if something better comes along, our loyalty is to physicians and we switch sometimes.
That's excellent. And that's why I trust you. And that's why I collaborate with people that I trust that has honesty. Now, what equipment do you have that, and I know if I come to your place, I'm like a kid in a candy store. And I think I use probably most of the equipment that you have, if not all of it.
Yeah.
What are your equipment that you have? I see like a screen back there and
Those
a
are-
white background. It looks beautiful.
Yeah, this is our training center in Sunrise, Florida, which obviously at some point we hope to have you here doing some trainings. And we try to educate locally and bring people in as well. But in our training center, we have ultrasound, obviously, because we teach ultrasound. We have top trainers in the country come in and teach musculoskeletal ultrasound, aesthetics, sexual wellness, all that stuff. We have Shockwave machines back there behind me. We also bring in trainers for that, for musculoskeletal. Obviously, with you, we'll do some sexual wellness Shockwave stuff. And then we have back there, I see a Nitronox machine behind me. There's another ultrasound around the corner.
What's a Nitronox machine? Let's explain that. What's a Nitronox?
Yeah, personal analgesia for a patient on site. It's sort of like nitrous, but it's pre-mixed. And the beauty of Nitronox versus the other famous brand Pronox is Nitronox is adjustable up to 70% and all the way down to 0. If a patient is sensitive to nitrous, you can lower it. And if they're not sensitive and it's not really doing much, you can turn it up. So usually there's a good level of efficacy versus being fixed 50-50.
And I will tell you, doctors, you're listening to this, if you're doing procedures, you need to get the nitric machine, because I started using this about 8 years in my practice. Even just a plain one small injection into the knee, I have to use nitrous because patient will remember that the procedure caused pain, sometimes even overriding the benefit of the procedure itself. And they'll tell everybody how much it hurt, but they won't
and
tell.
they won't come back for anything else.
They won't even come back for the pain either. But if you do something that doesn't hurt, they won't tell as many people, but they will remember if it hurt. Then and patient pain threshold, as you know, are very personalized. So if you have something that will make it so pleasant, why not? And it doesn't cost a lot of money to put this machine in your office. Even if you're a primary care doctor, you're not doing a regenerative medicine such as platelet-rich plasma or fat or bone marrow, even just doing injection, even aesthetic, like aesthetics such as laser. You can use the nitric
RF
machine for comfort, because that will make the patient experience so much better that you can actually, and they'll come back for more procedures as well, because they'll remember how non-painful it is. So you have ultrasound machine, which is like looking at musculoskeletal condition. And then you have the Shockwave. You have the Shockwave, which is focus and radio. And I'm a big proponent of Shockwave. I use focus and radio for both pain condition as well as for sexual health. And the nitrous machine. What else do you have there?
Well, probably our biggest thing is Ortho Biologics, PRP, platelet-rich plasma, right? Bone marrow concentrate, microfragmented adipose, protein concentration, all of those things. We have a lab here on site where we test all the kits side by side. Anything that we can't test, for instance, if we need to do flow cytometry, we send it to a lab outside, but we cross-compare everything that we can. And that's because those are probably our biggest sellers. PRP is obviously increasing in use, but is already massively used around the country. And we want to make sure physicians are able to do it right and patients are able to get efficacy. And if a doctor is using a low-grade kit where he's not getting what he thinks he is, or she's getting super low concentration, thinking she's giving this patient, oh, this clear yellow injection, that's PRP. We've learned over many years that dose is everything, and there's many kits that do not achieve that dose. So we make sure that docs are educated on what's hitting those goals and what's not. And of course, the same goes for bone marrow and microfragmented adipose. There's some systems that aren't as good as others. And of course, we look at sterility and work efficiency, pricing, and all those things. They all add together. But most important for us in those aspects in orthobiologics is dose. And of course, this is utilized in sports medicine, pain management, sexual wellness, wound care, aesthetics, across the gamut. So we really have I would say probably 95% of the practices that we work with are involved with orthobiologics in some way.
And when if you're not a doctor doing orthobiologic, it's really the wave of the future in harnessing the patient's own cells for repair and healing and pain reduction. But you can use it for not only pain, but for aesthetic and for wound healing, and for my purpose, for sexual restoration as well. So you can literally put it anywhere because it's patient own platelets, or patient own fat cells, or patient own bone marrow cell. And it's really the whole purpose is to facilitate healing using your own cells. So that's called orthobiologic. And Joe knows a lot about orthobiologic, the how, the what, and the why as well.
It's not
Definitely.
At this point, I'd be hard pressed to find in orthopedic surgery evidence, as much evidence for a type of surgery as there is for some of the orthobiologic applications like knee OA and tendinopathies and things like that. The evidence is just so. Whenever you hear someone say, "Oh, there's no proof for that," it's almost crazy at this point for anyone to say that. They're living under a rock. Granted, if it's done wrong, yes, and there's many ways to do it wrong, but when it's done correct, there's some amazing things and some patients that get better, and they've been trying to get better for 7-8 years and nothing else has worked. And then along comes PRP or bone marrow or shockwave. And again, it's not magic. It's physicians who learn how to do things the right way, and they have a lot of experience and knowledge, and they put all that together. And next thing you know, you've got a combination that's bringing treatment efficacy to where it really should be and where doctors want it. I can say the number one thing I love about this field, especially the regenerative side, is that the doctors I meet, the reason they got into it is because they got tired of their patients not getting better. They really came into it not looking to make $1 zillion, but looking to find a way to get the patient better. And they're probably the most nicest, humble, wonderful people that I've met. It makes the job enjoyable.
Absolutely. I've been doing PRP since 2007.
Why you're so cool.
I'm one of those cool doctors, but that was really my entry point into doing PRP, because I wanted something natural. And when I started learning acupuncture, that really opens up my eyes, healing and natural healing and using your own body to heal yourself. And that was how my entry point into orthobiologic, initially through using it for pain, and then now sexuality. But I still do a lot of musculoskeletal pain management as well, using PRP and microfat, and also bone marrow. So you offer these equipment that the doctor can use to help their patient. What set you apart from the other distributor company? What set RegenTx apart from other company that does similar things?
I think it's our level of knowledge and our commitment to long term. So we don't just say, hey, here's your stuff, see you later, bye. I mean, we are constantly consulting for free. It's included. We don't charge for it, but we're constantly consulting with the practices we work with, alerting them to the newest science. When we come in initially, we do extremely thorough trainings, sometimes more than a full day, sometimes 2 days. We're on site. We actually make sure that everyone is trained as completely as possible, that staff understand, not just the doctor, but also the staff that's going to talk to the patients. They understand the science of whatever it is whatever modality it is that we're dealing with on that day, or whatever equipment it is that they've gotten. And a year later, we're still with them, and 2 years later and 3 years later, and they're calling us about all kinds of other applications and other types of equipment, and even equipment that we don't carry necessarily. I still might have a doctor call me and go, hey, do you know about this? And who do you think I should talk to about it? And should I be dealing with this company? You know, that kind of thing. We build a long-term relationship because that's why we're here. We're here to help raise the level of efficacy in treatments. Granted, we're a company, so yeah, making money is great, but there's no reason that we can't utilize what we have to help doctors get the best out of everything and feel good about. At the end of the day, one doctor affects thousands of patients. So if we help the 700 doctors we work with, that's helping so many patients exponentially, so we can sleep at night and feel good about what we do. It really is about the end game versus, hey, come on, buy this today. All right, see ya. You know, we got this special going on, and here you go. And then you never hear from us again, especially if something goes wrong with a piece of equipment. That's a big thing I hear from doctors. Oh, I've been calling this company, for 3 weeks. They're not getting back to me. This has been broken down forever. And you can talk to all of our doctors and all the referrals and everything we have. And the one thing that I'm sure they'll say is that no matter what, I mean, even if they call us sometimes far beyond business hours and they're sort of in the midst of something, we'll still find a way to help as quickly as possible. And luckily, a lot of the manufacturers we work with are similar. And that's sometimes why we won't work with the manufacturer anymore, because if something we can't fix and we need the manufacturer to fix it, it doesn't do any good if we respond quickly and then the manufacturer takes 2 to 3 weeks to fix the problem. We also weigh that out when we're dealing with specific manufacturers. We try to fix the problems ourselves, but for instance, I can fix an ultrasound to a degree, but if it's something super technical that requires disassembly and things beyond my capability, that's we need the ultrasound companies to come in. We do have techs that we work with that actually repair ultrasounds and other devices, but we still want to have the capability to have manufacturers do what they're supposed to do with warranties.
That's awesome. And that's why the 700 doctors trust you and I trust you in following up. And it oftentimes is the relationship building and the trust that is a big factor when a doctor decides to buy an equipment. And we're talking about not very cheap and not very expensive, but definitely an equipment that will help them with their medical practice. And honestly, I think I have all the equipment you have, the nitrous, the ultrasound, the PRP, the fat, the bone marrow as well. And I still use it to this day. I got started on it in 2007. So from what you're seeing, like you said, you work with 700 doctors, they have this, but their biggest struggles is marketing, letting patient know or letting future patient know, prospect, that what they do. And that the biggest challenge of any physician in order to maintain a practice, to be viable. And a practice is a business. You need to have new patient coming in. You need to have the same patient coming back. And you also need to charge enough in order for you to be profitable. And right now, as doctors taking insurance, it's hard enough to even get paid to even cover your costs with decreasing reimbursement pending in the incoming new year. And then on top of that, staff and expenses are rising. And so doctors got to work on getting more patients to come in. But I've always tell doctors, forget about insurance and start doing non-insurance based business, because you're going to get paid for what you deserve and what you should be compensated for. I would tell you, in 2018, when I realized my hairdresser made more money than I did per hourly rate, I realized that I need to level up. I need to do something. That I shouldn't be taking insurance anymore. I get my hair done.
Well, your hair does look really good. So obviously.
So my hairdresser was making more money than I did in 2018 per hour.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's crazy. I think 90% of our doctors are cash-based, and some of them are hybrid. 90% of them probably cash-based. And again, it's the medical system that doctors come through, right? Residency, fellowship, everything is hospital-oriented, and you guys are made to feel like, oh, if you try to go out on your own, you're never going to make it. And then you're stuck in this cycle of seeing 50 to 60 patients a day to make that $15 to $60 insurance reimbursement. It's insane. And then I have the doctors who I've watched them. It's the beauty of, since we've been doing this for 14 years, is watching the doctors who are afraid to make the leap and go, I should have done this 5 years ago. There's a little struggle in the beginning, but now all of a sudden they're seeing 10 patients a day, making just as much money or more, 60 patients a day, getting to spend 45 minutes with a patient, do the treatment that they want to do, feel good about it. The patients I have doctors call us all week long that we're talking to about different things. And there's never a time where they don't go, oh my God, this patient, you should have seen this, blah, blah, blah. They went through this. They were crying. They were so happy. I mean, we get those stories all the time, and they're ecstatic, and they're so glad to be away from that cycle, that endless cycle of monotony and not making the money that you guys should make.
And just being on the hamster wheel and trying to chug it. So they're already doing cash-based practice. They're charging non-insurance, which is good. But what they need to do is to be able to get new patient coming in to the practice, and also having the same patient come back for different type of service. It may not be the orthobiologic service, but other services that complement their practice, such as supplement sales, such
100%.
as maintenance treatment, such as even offering lifestyle coaching, nutrition and exercise, and even hormone. These are the things that can complement orthobiologic practice, and these are the things that I'm teaching doctors to start realizing that there are other services that they can easily incorporate into their practice that will increase the revenue. But the main thing is people need to know what
educate.
you do. And
you really need to differentiate yourself.
Absolutely.
100%.
And the way to do that is to get online, because that's how we search nowadays. If someone wants to go find somebody for their knee pain, what they're going to do? They're going to boom, 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 use their cell phone and start searching on Google.
They're going to Google. Yep.
Yeah.
100%.
And if you're a doctor, if you're not online, you are invisible. If you're not online telling people how you can help, who you can help, you are invisible. And that's the reason why some non-physicians are getting more business than you. I tell doctors that it's on you.
Don't let your nephew make your website. I have that story. My nephew made my website. That's great. It looks okay, but where's the SEO? I mean, again, like you said, Google, that's 90% of how people are finding things. And that website should really be a giant educational platform with all that organic keyword stuff. And the more content you put on there, I know Google keeps changing the rules. I don't know much about SEO, but I know this from our web people and from other doctors I talk to who are a little bit more advanced on it. And you just have to have all that content. And now with AI, I mean, it seems like it'd be the easiest thing in the world to take a study and turn it into a blog and then make a podcast about it. And
exactly. But my whole point is
stuff.
get online and share your knowledge about how you can help and what you can do to help. And now with AI integration, now AI is making recommendations. So even if you notice you go on Google and you type in something, you'll see an AI summary on the top. So AI now is indexing from not only your website, but it's indexing YouTube, indexing LinkedIn, X, or Twitter and Instagram. So your website may be there, but that's just SEO. But now we have what is called AI search engine. So it's now AI is an integral part of that. That's next level then. That's what I'm starting to find out. And that's the reason why I'm very passionate to have doctors get online, to have especially a YouTube channel, because they are now going to be found by AI. And so I didn't know this until I was kind of researching some stuff on ChatGPT, and it was something about erectile dysfunction. And all of a sudden, boom, my video came up in ChatGPT as one of the recommendations.
Wow.
And it's because I produce videos on YouTube and it was searchable. So doctor, if you're not producing content, when I say producing content, putting out videos on either YouTube. But the reason why I love YouTube, because YouTube is a search engine. Search engine mean like Google, because Google owns YouTube. Once you put out a video, it's there forever and it lives there and it gets indexed by Google. And so if you're not online, then you're invisible. And as a doctor, you are 2/3 of the way there to become an influencer online, because there are 3 things that you need to be an influencer. You need credibility, and you need authority, and you need an audience. So doctors already have the credibility because of their training. They already have the authority because of their knowledge and their experience. All they need is an audience. And how do you get an audience? To go on YouTube and to produce videos on who you help and how you help them. And that's the reason why that we have the first annual Doctor Podfest event that is going to be held on January 15th of 2026 in Orlando, Florida, not far from where you are at. And it's our first inaugural year. And I'm just very passionate about showing doctors the possibilities, how going online can help their clinic. It's not about dancing and being influential like that online. It's about building your brand and building your brand online, being searchable online, but then also showing and then attracting them to your clinic. Most doctors in the clinics are seeing patients, but you got to make sure that people know what you do. You may be the best ultrasonographer, the best injector in the world, but if people don't know that you exist, they're going to go down the street to the chiropractor who has the nurse of the day to come to the office to inject and probably charge more than you do. So the thing that people need to know that you exist so they can come from you. It sounds so simple, but yet I would tell you probably less than 1% of doctors are doing that now
Yeah.
online right now. And then
Mhm.
we all know what a struggle it is now to have a medical practice with rising costs and decreasing reimbursement. And even if you have a cash-based practice, you still need incoming patient to come to
Mhm.
your business.
New patients,
Yes,
constantly
right.
new patients. Yeah.
You need new patient coming in, and you need to know how to keep the current patient you have. That's what we call recurring revenue, and then leads, and then also how to charge appropriately. I'm a big proponent of packaging services, like packaging a regenerative treatment for knee, regenerative treatment
Mhm.
for hip, or a spine regenerative package, a package
Yeah.
everything, like what they need for supplements, what brace they
Yeah.
need, what treatment they need, and then follow up. And that's your package. It's
Yeah.
kind of like you go to McDonald's and you get a number one, a hamburger, French fries, and a drink. What doctor need to package that as
Yeah.
well.
Everything adjunctive adds to the efficacy on top of that anyways, and the patient feels like, wow, you're giving me all of these things, which is really the differentiator, right? The guy down the street offered to do this blind injection of, yellow stuff, and you're giving me my nutrition, my treatment, my post-treatment instructions, PT,
Yep.
all these shockwave with the orthobiologics, all these things that are just bringing things to the next level.
Absolutely. And so we've been doing that since 2019, and that's how you differentiate yourself from the guy down the street. Okay. So that way patient doesn't compare apples to apples. So they know that when they come to Dr. Truong, they're going to get this whole entire package of treatment to get them from A to Z with everything they need to get the result that they need to have. So that's why we have Doctor Podfest. Doctor Podfest, even though it's podcast, but it's also showing doctors how you can create an impact and grow your business online. So that way you can become financially viable, stable, and maybe offer geographic freedom. I know with me, I have a hybrid practice where I still see patients in the clinic and I don't take insurance, but I also have an online business. But if I travel, I still have my online business. I just seeing less patient in the
Mhm.
office, but it allows me a lot of flexibility. And you know what? It allows me now to love medicine again. I enjoy seeing patients now because I'm seeing patients on my own terms and what I want to do and when I want to do it. And I think we hear doctors getting burnt out, leaving medicine. It's not medicine they don't love, it's the bureaucracy, the administrative, and all the other headaches that come with it. But in the end, we sacrifice. My daughter's in med school now. We sacrifice our 20s. The doctors sacrifice their 20s to be in med school, right? You go to
Mhm.
undergraduate, then you go to med school, and then you do residency training. By the time you're done, you're like 31, 32, 33, depending on what specialty you go to. So you really have no 20s anymore. While your friends that you went to
Yeah.
a college with are partying, getting married, having kids, all of that. My daughter doing that now. My daughter's going to more weddings and before, but she's still in school and she hasn't had time for that. So the whole point is doctors go to drpodfest.com and check out Dr. Podfest in Orlando on January 15th. Joel will be there with RegenTx,
Yeah.
with all his equipment. And you have a special for the doctors that are attending Dr. Podfest.
Yeah, any equipment, whatever modality it is, whether it's ultrasound or shockwave or orthobiologics, any of that equipment, we come on site and do a full free day of training with the entire staff, multiple patients if it's orthobiologic type stuff. So it's a full day. It's not like, hey, how you doing? Here's your stuff. Give you an hour of our time and then we leave. It's a full day. So, pretty high value if someone doesn't buy equipment from us, but they want us to come in and show them how to do processing of certain things or ultrasound, we might charge $3,000 or something for that. So it's a pretty good value and it's included. And of course, what better reason to come to Podfest than it's January in Orlando. So, unless you're living somewhere nicer, maybe, I don't know.
Unless you live in Florida or you live in Southern Cal, but
Yeah.
Orlando, Disney, nice weather, nice people, learning new stuff, connection. And Joe is gracious enough to throw in the bonus where you get hands-on training with any equipment that you get from there. And you get to try all the equipment that he has. And Joe, this will be kind of a new group of doctors that you're going to be interfacing with that different than just the typical regen doctor. So it'll be exciting.
Yeah, That's
for the
perfect.
doctor and for you as well.
It's what we love when there's a doctor who's not really familiar with it, and then they realize that there's definitely a pathway for them to utilize this in some way, regardless of what the modality is. But there's always something that applies. It just overlaps so many different specialties, and it's effective on so many different fronts. So
Absolutely. And I look forward to seeing you in a little more than a month from
you'll be
now.
nice and warm.
Yep.
You
And
won't
so
need your North Face jacket.
I'm like freezing right now. It's like 29 degrees outside right now. And I'm sitting here with a heater, right, blowing at my feet. And I still have the jacket. So check it out at Doctor Podfest. Spell out the word doctor, DOCTOR, podfest.com. And we hope to see you in Orlando on January 15th. Thank you, Joe, for being here. Appreciate
Thank you. Always, and I'm excited to see you guys and see you warm in someplace warm. But next time I'll come up to the cold place just to make it even.
See you next episode.
All right, Doc. See you.